Hey everyone, this is Rob Gonzalez with PereGonza, the attorneys, and today we're going to talk about ride-sharing accidents. Now, the first thing you need to know about ride-sharing companies is that when they hire their drivers, they're hiring them as independent contractors, right? Now, this is not a video on employment, but one thing that you do need to know about independent contractors that's important for this topic is that they kind of operate like their own small business. So what does the ride-sharing company do? Ride-sharing companies like Uber and Lyft, they require the drivers to have their own insurance policy. So they have to have commercial auto insurance, right? Or they can have personal auto insurance. So you can feel safe to go into a ride-sharing vehicle while using a ride-sharing app, right? And you can know that there's some insurance out there that's going to cover you. What's the next thing that these ride-sharing companies do? They actually work in conjunction with the driver's insurance by providing their own insurance that's called a driver partner insurance. And companies like Uber and Lyft do this to protect their clients, right? They don't want to get sued, and they want to make sure that if anything happens, their clients are covered. And sometimes even the drivers are covered. Now, what happens if you get into an accident? Now, that's a really good question because it really depends. And it depends on many factors, but usually it depends on who is at fault. Depending on who's at fault, we're going to be able to see where the case is going to go. So let's say you're in a ride-sharing vehicle. Your driver makes a mistake. The driver causes an accident. First thing you need to do is you need to go after that driver's commercial auto insurance policy or their personal auto insurance policy. But what happens if it's a catastrophic accident? And now the driver's insurance coverage only covers up to $10,000, but you have more than $10,000 worth of damages. Don't worry. You can go after the driver partner insurance, right, through their BI coverage, and now you have the ability to get that excess. Sometimes these insurance policies and this BI coverage can sometimes be up to $1 million, right? So what happens with a different scenario? You're in a ride-sharing vehicle. Somebody else causes an accident. First thing you need to do is you need to go after that person's insurance. That's the first thing you need to do. But what happens if that person doesn't have insurance? What has the ride-sharing company done to protect you in the event that while you're using their service and paying for the ride-sharing service, you get into an accident caused by somebody else who's irresponsible and doesn't have insurance? Believe it or not, it happens a lot in Miami. The ride-sharing companies have thought about this, and that's why they usually cover something called coverage, which is a coverage that exists in the event that somebody else who caused the accident doesn't have insurance, or you are underpaid for whatever insurance that they have, right? So you can go after after the driver partner insurance coverage, and guess what? As long as you get an attorney and you make the proper arguments and we can go through the factors, you should be covered, right? Now, what are the limitations to this insurance? Because the driver partner insurance policy isn't always going to be in effect, right? There's different scenarios that will make it so that this policy is in effect. And obviously, once you get into insurance policies, you're talking about very complicated language, and an attorney is best suited to help you interpret that language. But usually, what we've seen in the past is that there's several different scenarios that exist when you can use and when you can't use this driver partner insurance. So the first one is, let's say the driver has the app, so the app is on, but you're waiting for a request as a driver. When that happens, this driver partner insurance does not apply because you're not working for the ride-sharing company. You're just waiting to get a ride, but you haven't been contracted for a ride yet. So you're really technically not working yet. Remember, you're an independent contractor, right? Now, when the driver has accepted a request and they're en route to pick up a passenger, now you can make an argument that the driver partner insurance needs to apply. And the reason it needs to apply is because you're going to a job. You're going to pick up somebody for the rideshare app, and now you guys are working in conjunction. That conjunction needs to apply. Now, what's the third scenario? Third scenario is you actually have a passenger in the car, like we just spoke about right now. When you actually have a passenger in the car, now more than ever does the conjunction need to exist. Now more than ever does the client need to be protected. And now more than ever, you need to be able to call on that driver partner insurance. Now, aside from all of this, these type of accidents are very complicated, and there's many different exceptions that can and will apply at many times. If you're ever in an accident, first thing you need to do is make sure that you're good health-wise, right? You need to go to a doctor as soon as possible, but you also need to speak to an attorney, because an attorney is going to help you guide as to what your actual rights are and how you're going to be able to get the compensation that you need to get you back to where you were before the accident. So if you're in a car accident, while you're using a ride-sharing company like Uber or Lyft, you need to call an attorney. You need to speak to an attorney immediately. And if you call us, guess what? We're going to give you a free consultation. And on top of that, if we take your case because you have a case, then you don't owe us anything unless we win the case. So call us, 786-650-0202.